In drafting, it's common practice to highlight changes to an issued drawing with what's called a revision cloud. Now, AutoCAD has a tool that will help you make that cloud. It's called RevCloud. That's the name of the command that you just type in, REVCLOUD. Now, the revision cloud command is very easy to use and it's very quick as well. Let's open up an example file so that we can have something to work with. Go to your chapter projects here and find the cottage plan and elevation drawing. Really, you can use any drawing or no drawing at all for this example. I just wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like using it in the real world. So let's say this is our drawing and we've made a couple of changes to this detail right here. In fact, we're going to say we changed this note. So what we'll need to do is issue a revision into our drawing. Now there are a couple of different ways that you can get to the revision cloud command. You can type in RevCloud right on your command line, or you can go up to the ribbon, go to the Annotate tab, and go to the Markup palette. Now here is Revision Cloud. Now I can just click on this icon right here and it will start working. Now I have a couple of options here on this flyout as well, and we'll go over those later on. But we can draw a revision cloud just as a regular rectangle, as a polygon, or you can do it freehand. The majority of the time, all you're going to need is the rectangle command, at least that option. So I'm going to click that. And if you haven't set up the revision cloud command already, or you haven't used it before in this file, you're going to want to set what's called the arc length. Now, a revision cloud is just a series of arcs. And in fact, what's being created is just a polyline with arcs. So you'll want to set that length of the arc. Now you come down here to your command line and click on arc length. Now you can do one of two things to define this width. You can just type in a number, that whatever you want, or you can just click from point to point inside your file. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to click here. Now where I click will define the length. So you have a minimum and you have a maximum. That means it will make the arc at least that small, but no bigger than this. So once you've defined those two sizes, you can start drawing. And I picked the rectangle option. So that means I'm going to draw a rectangle, a lot like the rectangle command, but it's going to make it look like a cloud. So I pick my first point of my rectangle. And then as I stretch it out, you can kind of see where it's going to be at and what my arcs are going to look like. Left click again, and there's my revision cloud. It's that simple. Now, if I pick the polygonal option, that gives me a little bit more freeway, and I just move where I want my revision cloud to go, and I click. And I can keep making great shapes. So if I've revised all of this, I can do that, and there's my revision cloud. Now, if I go to the freehand option, let's say I go to this note here, it just comes like this. That one's very easy to use as well. So this option works like a rectangle. You click 2 points, boom, boom, and it creates a rectangle shape. This one works like a polygon, so it'll go from point to point. The freehand goes just wherever I put my cursor at. So those are the 3 different ways to create a revision cloud. Now there's another way as well. Let's say I draw a rectangle, or let's say I draw a polyline. I go up to my revision cloud, I click on it, and I have different options. Remember first we saw the arc length? Well, now I have object. I can also get to my rectangular, polygon, and freehand modes right there. But if I click on the object option or type in O, I can select my rectangle or my polyline, and it will convert it into a revision cloud. If I don't like the direction of the arcs, I can click yes, and it will reverse them. And it will work the same way on the revision cloud. Now you can also do this for just regular lines or arcs or circles, etc. So a lot of times people will use the revision cloud to draw bushes or the edge of a forest or a preserve area on your drawings. Now, if you want to manipulate these, you can just select them. You can delete, just like you would this rectangle or polyline. You can move, copy, put them on different layers, match properties, just like any other object. Now let's say you want to edit these. Now if I select it, you can see it looks like a polyline here. So I can do some grip edits. I can stretch it out, move it around. And if I go to my middle here, I can add a vertex. So you can do a lot with these different objects. And so you can change it, which is very useful. I can start any of these commands and still get to the same options. Now you can get to two different styles. You have the normal style and you have the calligraphy. This is the normal style. It looks all uniform. Now the calligraphy though has a thickness to it. It'll start off skinny on one of the arcs and then it will get thicker. But they're created the exact same way. These are a little bit more visible. They look a lot more fancy, and it's up to you and your styling which way you want to use it. Either way, they both work the same way. You edit them the same way, and they're fantastic. So if you go back to your Revision Cloud command, and then you select the modify option, it asks you now on the command line, select the one you want to modify. Let's pick this guy here. Once you click that spot, you essentially start drawing on more revision clouds. So when you just say you needed to add more to your area, you click there, and then you can either delete that part or this part. I don't want to reverse the direction, and now I have a bigger revision cloud. So if you need to add to one of them or take away something of it, you always can. Revision clouds are very easy to create, and they're very easy to edit. So it makes them very useful, and it's really a piece of cake to create a revision cloud.